Apparently nothing. No, there's 4 bars. We should be strong right here. This should be a strong. This should be a strong stream right here. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna just assume so. So we're gonna set up a little station right here. This is just like an impromptu shit that seems like it's gonna work. How the fuck is it bad? I just had like 30,000 bars. Is this connection good or what? I'm gonna get the fucking livermore shit, motherfucker. We're gonna knock it out. We're doing it. All right. But all right, your comments are super small. Do you have any video or what? Okay, working so far. All right, we're good. Are we good or what? We got like fucking 10 viewers. Is this even coming through? Just give me an affirmative. Let's see what the lag is. Oh, okay. Is this stream mute? Is this stream mute? Okay, affirmative. All right. So now I'm gonna pour this bitch off. You're gonna have some nitrous come out. It smells fucked up. There's fuming. Already, there's a ton of liquid in this one. This is a ton of acid and liquid. Way more than the other one. Noticeably more. But that's not even gonna be the good stuff, so I'm gonna get another, let's have another filter. I missed my bucket. Whatever. I'm just fucking throwing filters because this is, or filter apparatuses because this is gonna take so long. Oh, it's doing okay. I would recommend when you go in, like if you go to like the dollar store, the hardware store, and they have like cheap ass plastic filters, you'd be fine buying like 30 of them. I mean, seriously, like you can't have enough filters. You want them with big wide mouths, especially if you're doing like coffee filtration. Just fucking go big. All right. So that's dripping. We got one through here. Oh man, that's strong. Woo! You don't want to fuck around with that. This is good. So this is like a cheap 90 cents filter, plastic filter. It's getting all your fucking filtrate in there really quickly. It's got a wide mouth. This is a fucking high-speed US-made glass filter. This is slow as fuck. It's barely dripping. It doesn't even make any sense. Doesn't even make any sense to use it. It's too tight. Let's change that filter out. You might have a problem if hydrochloric acid kind of smells good to you. Just saying. Remove that. That other tub is fucking done. Oh, it's fucking dripping too. These are big and deep. I don't really have it. Okay, I just poured off all the liquid. Now we've just got a solid mass. It is definitely yellow. Okay, that's lemon. Okay. This filter has something fucked up with it, probably because it's a coffee filter. And it's not really like what you should be using. So I'm gonna start using this big guy right here. This is so light and fluffy. This is like, it's like espresso cream. Like whipped espresso cream is the consistency. It smells like straight hydrochloric. Okay, so that's been, this container's been diluted enough to be like pretty much neutralized. Now, what we're doing is we are, these other two, these have, you know, I mean, there's barely fucking, so the reason you pour off your liquid and filter it because you'll get like that, right? You do that until you get to your bulk. And then you use a separate, like your good filter for your bulk. Now you can start washing. So we're washing with water. This one had a good deal come through. I must have had a hole in the filter. That's why I was wondering why it was so badass. I think it was just had a hole in it. Well, let's check the pH. It's gonna be fucking low. I'll tell you that right now. It's actually pretty good. We're at about a pH of, we're at about, we're between a pH of 4 and 5. And that's actually pretty impressive for HCl. So we're now just gravity filtration. This will simulate like regular ass filter that you use. This one's just real wide. All right, that's gonna keep going. We don't really have much else to do. Just wash with water, and that's pretty much it. What? Any questions? You got any questions or what? We're pretty much done here. You got anything? I'm gonna end the stream because we're pretty much done. What I'm doing now, we're washing it with water. So we're gonna wash it. I'm gonna try to get the pH to 7. The only other step is I'm gonna dry it. I'm gonna let it to air dry overnight, which is in the procedure, and then I'm gonna recrystallize it, dissolve it in Everclear, and I'm gonna recrystallize it. So, you know, this is one of the easiest scents for HE, and we just went through all the steps on a live stream. Okay, so we just did. This is easier than anything I've ever done. This is you know, so we did our whole reaction process. That all I think went through pretty good on the video. We did allow it to stand. It's probably about 30 minutes how long we let it stand. We're collecting the filtration now, and we're washing with H2O. We're going to do additional washing. Air dry. After air drying, should have 10.5 grams. This procedure right here, I'll follow up with it and let you know what happens. It was exact. So the amounts are all exact. The only thing we had, like, you know, extremely minor loss on some splashing. It shouldn't affect yield or anything. We should be very close. 10.5 grams crude. And then we're going to recrystallize with alcohol, and that should go to about 9.5 grams. You should lose about a gram doing recrystallization. Questions? Let's see. How long can it stand for? Well, so what you're doing, like it's already pretty good because I added some water, so it like dropped the pH because I was spraying with water towards the end of the reaction, right? All the good stuff's already reacted. I'm just getting the shit off the sides of the jar and shit with a little water spray. The pH, once we get over here and start spraying water on it, your pH is getting to like what was it, like between 4 to 5. So that's not very acidic. I mean, it's acidic, but it's not super acidic. So you want to get it to like 7, right? Because that's neutral. So you keep spraying with water to wash out acid until your filtrate gets to 7. And then when you recrystallize, you're going to remove all traces of acid because you're going to break apart the crystal structure by dissolving it in the alcohol solvent. And any acidity will separate from the molecules that you want. And then you're dissolving it, like letting it evaporate with alcohol. Like alcohol evaporates at room temperature. So you let it, but a little bit of heat will help too. So you let it evaporate. It will recrystallize, right, out of the solution and become a dry powder. When it does that, it's going to be really pure. That's what a recrystallization is. I mean, you're literally just honing the product down to its compound form and getting rid of impurities. That's what's going on here. And this is similar to other scents. This one's just super easy, and the compound is insensitive, so it's a very useful one. Now, the last one, the fuck up that I did, where we got the dinitroso, because I would, like an idiot, I used acetic acid, thinking I was going to get somewhere. That one had no melting point. I'm hoping that was dinitroso. I'm hoping that's not this, right? It shouldn't be, because there's definitely no observable melting point. There should be a solid melting point between 95C and 106C, because it's referenced in 2 papers from 2 different places with entirely different motives and everything. So that means that the actual TNX compound, you know, it should have a melting point prior to the deflagration point. That melting point is kind of going to be critical, but this is a control experiment to see, number one, if it's feasible to even do the LIVERMORE procedure, which it should be. But that one was followed, you know, pretty much exact. Like at no time did we exceed 10C. 10C was a temp that we determined from other papers where they use different temperatures and shit from the French. That would be from the French paper with different temperatures. Lower temps are favorable for sure in terms of your yield, right? In terms of your yield efficiency. But even at you know, you start to get the dinitroso compound more introduced at higher temperatures, so you want to stay low. That's the point of it. You're trying to get a pure TNX, right? Assuming that you did everything right, you kept your temp low, and you didn't use acetic acid or phosphoric acid, or you can use sulfuric acid. You can use citric acid. Citric acid, I think the reaction is way longer. I think it's like an overnight thing. That's what it's looking like. But that will be verified later after this control experience. So we'll do this one to get the fucking TNX. Out of this, I'll probably do a video on how to oxidize this into pure RDX. That's like 99% pure without any HMX contamination. So that way, if you want to make RDX, I mean, you're gonna gain a little bit. You're gonna gain like, I don't know, like 300 meters per second or something on dev velocity. Then you're gonna increase your 400. And you're gonna increase your sensitivity. But we'll just go through that process. I have a suspicion, although it hasn't been done, I haven't found any papers. I think you can do this via the DPT method to come up with HMX and do a nitroso HMX with a nitroso DPT, and then get like a super high purity DPT without anhydrous or anything like that. At least that's my theory. At least I don't know. We'll see. We'll just see what happens. Let's just take it slow with the development of this and just work off of the TNX. But this should be a good. This is like a very good scent to like dip your toes into it. I'm breaking up some of this filter. It had already drained and it had that like intense foam on it. Hopefully you can see that. So now it's more like a milkshake. Oh man, did I hit that button? Damn it. Fucking Android phones. All right, so I think that's it. I think we'll wrap it up. Any last minute questions? We've only got like 18 viewers right now. What do you got? Anything? We'll get TNX and probably RDX off of this. The RDX for sure can be used as a you can use it as like a primary detonator. Like I said, M14 high powered blasting cap in the military, in the U.S. military, is kind of like a mainstay in blasting caps. Like I know, like versus shock tube and shit like that, like an M14 will get her done. Like M14 blasting cap is like what you stick in an M18 Claymore. If like you want to like fucking pop a Claymore and you want that shit to go off. So that uses pure, it's like RDX is the load in the M14. So RDX you can go at least primary. Once you mix it, obviously you mix it with other things to desensitize it. You get, I mean, now you're getting like, secondary munitions. You can get the velocity super high, relatively. I mean, even insensitive shit like the like new shit like NTO and TEX and shit like that, like cage compounds. Other than CL20, TKX50, and HMX, I mean, you're really not, like, it's just hard to beat fucking RDX. And with the nitroso variant, you get insensitivity, you know, and it's the synth is the most. I mean, that is the easiest synth. That is nothing. Like, if you can't get that, then you're not going to be making any demo because they're all more complicated than that. I mean, with the exception of like maybe some fucking, I don't know, like maybe some, you know, some shit that like some peroxide explosive and shit. But you don't even want to be like peroxide. You don't want to be doing any of that stuff. You're gonna be doing like solid fucking rocker shorts demo, like the real shit. You want the real shit, bro. All right, you don't want to be doing any of that crazy ass like shoe bomber stuff. You want that fucking good shit. All right, now that's what we're trying to get at. And this nitroso, it will get you. Let's say that the nitroso, let's say you make this or whatever, and it ends up like, you know, for whatever reason, for whatever your application is, you're like, I just don't know about the nitroso. You can just oxidize it into RDX, and you get pure RDX, unlike the Bachmann process, which is going to introduce HMX contamination, which makes your sensitivity and your power variable. It is within a margin, and so it's acceptable. But in terms of like having something that's fucking like exact, like a fucking razor, this is how you get fucking pure 99%, you know, 99.9% RDX. Is through this method. You take the trinitroso, and then you're gonna oxidize it. When I do that, we're probably gonna try to do a OTC method. Probably going to be using. I'm gonna look for a method to use. Sodium percarbonate, because I think that's probably the most OTC hydrogen peroxide containing compound. It's in a dry form, and you should be able to admix it with some other stuff that'll boost your oxidization capability. I mean, fuck, you could even do. I mean, you do like UV exposure, man. You could do. You know, there's shit with like boron nitrides and shit. Well, we're not even gonna get into that, but boron nitrides, like you could do stuff where you could put it in a jar, put boron nitrides in there, a percarbonate, and then like expose it to sunlight and let the sunlight do catalytic oxidization and shit. I mean, there's just all kinds of crazy stuff that isn't traditional. That is really powerful. But we'll get into that. I'm gonna try to find a way to do it with sodium perborate, or I'm sorry, not sodium perborate. That would be another one, the sodium percarbonate. All right, so all right, that's gonna be it. It doesn't look like there's very many questions. We don't have many viewers right now, so I'm gonna wrap it up. You guys have a good night. Thanks. If I can figure out how to work a phone. Sometimes I feel like I'm 80 years old.